What's up YouTube, it's Ben. Life will hit you harder than you ever expect. And when it does, you've got two choices. Stay down or get back up and keep going. In this video, I'll share exactly how I picked myself up after a car accident. A lot of the principles that got me through this recovery have been mindset related. I feel like all change starts with the mind before you do any physical work. I think what I've realized is that setbacks are inevitable, so it's best to just accept them. They don't define you, but how you respond to them is what matters. So to give some context, 3.5 years ago, I was at home here in Belfast doing work experience with a football club. However, I wasn't getting paid. So I did pizza deliveries in the evenings to earn extra money. So I did this job relentlessly because I like to maximize everything that I do. And I think I was doing it too much and was too tired. So yeah, on the 28th of February 2022, I pulled out from a junction and a car hit me at speed. And I can't remember that accident. I don't remember the next 2 weeks. My next memory after that point is in bed in hospital about 2 weeks later. I didn't know where I was or what happened, but I had been told what had happened, and I realized I have a lifelong project to work on, and that project is my recovery. However, I quickly realized that I was lucky to be able to make a recovery, so it would be disrespectful not to give it 100%. So the first principle I would like to mention would be prioritizing your health. I think prioritizing your health is one of the most important things you can do, and no matter what your goal is, you should always be prioritizing your health, because without it, nothing else matters. Luckily, I had been training in the gym for 5 or 6 years before this accident, so I knew the importance of routine. So in prioritizing your health, you really have to stick to 3 fundamentals: sleep, nutrition, and exercise. At the start of my recovery, I was thinking about making myself physically better, but as time has gone on, I've done these things for my mental health. I personally think prioritizing your mental health is even more important than physical, because all change starts with mental. Your mental health controls your reality. I've really realized this due to the nature of my injury, because it was a brain injury. That is what held me back. So I've spent lots of time learning about the brain and really tried to optimize its function, and I really feel like it's made a huge difference in my life. The next principle that helped me in recovery would be to think long term. When I realized this was going to be a lifelong project, I realized that I couldn't think in weeks or even months. I had to think in years. I think this mindset saved me because it made me very patient. It made me more resilient. It made me less likely to give up because I knew how long it would take. It's easy to get caught up in wanting results fast, but I encourage you to think about where you will be in a year, 2 years time if you commit today. I think when you face a major setback, it really shifts your whole mindset. It's important not to panic. Take it one day at a time. I'm a different person today to who I was 3 years ago. That didn't happen in one leap. I recovered one step at a time, literally. The whole patience and long-term thinking only works if you focus on what you need to do today. It's easy to think that things like nutrition, hydration, and workouts don't matter as much, but small habits compound and lead to incredible results over the long term. But in taking it one day at a time, this needs to be sustainable. So I would urge you to not overcomplicate it, just take it one day at a time. To simplify things, I heard a neuroscientist say, is what I'm doing today net positive for my brain or net negative? And that was the most important thing for me to consider. The next principle I think is important to consider when you face a setback is learning and self-education. You need to become a student again. I definitely became a student again. I was a sports science student, but I knew nothing about the brain. So I listened to podcasts like Huberman Lab, I read books, and I spoke to professionals to find out as much about the brain and my injury as possible so that I could do the right things to improve. When you understand your problem, you gain more control and it loses some of its power over you. If you're in a difficult situation, learn about your situation. Knowledge gives you tools, and tools give you hope. I've realized that it's important to never think that you know everything. You should always be learning. The next thing I think is important to do is to develop a plan. As I've mentioned, I treated my recovery like a project. I had a plan with workouts, for example, and cut out things that didn't align with my recovery. So I didn't drink alcohol for over 2 years. Most people stay stuck because they don't have a plan or refuse to compromise. But hoping or wishing isn't planning. The hard part is starting. Write down your next 3 steps. It doesn't matter how small, because as soon as you get started, momentum will carry you. So after this accident, I was unable to walk, but I have since got to a level of fitness that I didn't think was possible. Also, when the accident happened, me, my parents, and the doctors were unsure about finishing uni, but I went back. It was tough, but I graduated. And I think one of the most important things about this recovery has been my belief in myself. I think the power of your mind is incredible. And I think if you can leverage that, you can achieve amazing things. I previously mentioned that your mindset is key when dealing with setbacks. So belief in yourself is crucial. So to summarize how you should deal with a setback, you should have the following priorities: your health, long-term thinking, taking things one day at a time, continuously learn and develop a plan. That's how you're going to rise after a setback. If this helped you in any way, subscribe, because I'm here to rebuild people. But yeah, thank you for watching, and remember, setbacks don't end your story. They start a new chapter, and it's up to you how the story goes. Peace. The shit I did last night, I'm not real proud.